So I kind of wanted to start this new, I guess, podcast. I don't know what really. I have no idea what this is. It's kind of just an idea. Because I've taken a lot of time off from YouTube, obviously. And I kind of want to get back into it. I have ideas. I want to do all these things, and I just really don't know where to go with it. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a podcast. I had a podcast a while ago. It only lasted a couple episodes, and then I kind of got lost in school and work and a bunch of other things. A bunch of other excuses I can make. There's a bunch of excuses I can make for why I'm not making YouTube videos, and why I do have my reasons. I do think that it's important for me to keep growing this, not only just because if YouTube pans out, that'd be cool as hell, but I want this to be kind of my portfolio for future jobs. I'm graduating at the end of this year from college at Arizona State, and I'm graduating into sports journalism. So obviously, this is something that people can look at, jobs can look at. And if you're here, if you're a job recruiter and you're watching this video, hi, how you doing? My name's Jayden. I'd love to be your employee. But I think it's the best way for me to say, look, even if this YouTube thing doesn't pan out, I don't even have ads yet, but I want it to be somewhere where everyone can look back and say, okay, like, look at how the growth he's done, look at how better his thumbnails are, look at how better his editing is, his voice, his whatever it is. I want it to be like that. So if you guys have ideas for like a name of this, I don't even know what the heck I'm going to name this video. I really don't. But I've seen one of my favorite YouTubers, King of the Fourth Quarter, Kenny Beecham. He's a basketball YouTuber, 2K YouTuber mostly. But he's been killing the game. He's 1 million subscribers now. He's on Bleacher Report. He's everywhere. If you haven't seen him, it's crazy. But what I kind of want to do is something what he does in this series called Game at the beginning, but now it's a different show. But where he just sits down, and he talks about the games that happened in the night in the NBA. And he just has this. Maybe he has a dialogue thing. Let's say like the Knicks are on a 5-game winning streak. He starts talking about the Knicks on it, and it just kind of goes into it. It's usually like a 10 to 15 minute video, and it's good. So I kind of want to do that with the NFL in just my own ways, making videos like this, because I bought this really fancy mic. I like holding it. I don't like having it on the stand. The stand is great, but I like holding it. I think it's cooler to just kind of relax and kind of conversate with you guys watching the videos. It's really where I want to be at. It's where I feel most comfortable as well. And I think that'll be a good thing. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. I want to do a podcast where probably like 15, 30 minutes, I can just look at the camera, kind of talk about something kind of like this, just relax. Maybe get some of my friends or people you like in the community on. Just kind of doing that. I know podcasts are kind of hard to start up, especially when you're a lower end YouTuber. But I think it's something that would be fun to do. I really do. So again, if you guys think of any name for this series, something like that, let me know. But I figured how I'm going to start it out is what you're seeing now. So if you clicked on this video, you probably saw the thumbnail and the title, which is going to be saying something about the NFC East draft grades, because that's really what we're going to be talking about here. I'll put in a thing, hopefully, that to like skip to when I actually do start talking about it. But I'm going to kind of make it a thumbnail where it's going to be about what the topic is. The title's going to be about the topic. And then at the end of the title, I'm going to have the name of my series. It's all going to go into a playlist, which is going to be the series. And we'll do that. I'll try and get it back on the podcasts on Spotify and such as that, at least the audio versions of it. I think that'd be fun to do. But I think that's kind of what I want to go towards. YouTube is still so fun for me to do. It's harder and harder to do with other things out in the world that are happening within my life and within everyone's life. So it's just a little bit harder to do. But without further ado, I do want to start this. And again, I just want to thank. I've said this every video I've been back, because it's been very sparing, me uploading videos. And ironically, my subscribers have been keep going up, and my views on a lot of videos have been going up, which has been great. But just thank you guys for all the support, even through the absences that I've had this whole year. This whole year's been 2021's been the hardest year probably of my life. And it's crazy because I'm turning 21 this year. It's supposed to be this fun year, and I'm graduating college and all this. It's a crazy situation, but it's just not panning out that way. But I digress. We're here to talk about the NFC East grades, and we're already almost 5 minutes into this video. So again, thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section below if you got ideas for this name, ideas for this series, people that you want on the show, etc. And we'll just kind of see where we can go with this. I really do like this idea. It's something that I want to pursue. It's something that makes me want to sit down and just kind of chill. Because even though I'm sitting right here, I hope that you guys aren't looking at this like, oh, this guy sucks, like he's not even set up straight. Because like I could sit up straight. I can like do this. I mean, obviously I have to move the camera and stuff, but like I could still do this and it still looks good. And I probably will do this, especially when I'm in the middle of a point. But genuinely, like just being able to just kind of kick it relax and talk to you guys and have you guys comment and all that stuff. I think it'll be good. Even if we started off as a live video and it uploads as a video, I think that'd be cool too. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. But we're going to do NFC East draft grades. Reason being is I love my Giants. I don't like the people in the division that are against us, but I'm a fair and objective journalist, so I'm going to do that. So here we go. We're starting off with the Eagles. Now, the Eagles did something on the draft day that we haven't seen in a long time, and it rarely ever happens, and that is they traded in division. They traded up with the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure they gave a third-round pick to the Cowboys as well to move up the 2 picks, and they ended up taking Devontae Smith. The reason why they thought the Giants were going to take him, and from what I've heard, the Giants were going to take him. Personally, for me, Devontae Smith is a monster. Heisman winner, deserved every bit of it. I was clamoring for him to be the Heisman winner over, Mac Jones and everyone else that's up there, but I think Trevor was up there too, right? I don't know. Anyway, I really wanted Devontae to win it. One, because I like seeing position players win it and not always a quarterback, but also he deserved it. The problem is we see this a lot mostly in college basketball comparatively to college football, but there's some players that are college athletes. They're really they thrive off of the college aspect, whether that be the competition or the play style or anything. And they don't really translate all the time to the big leagues. I think Devontae Smith might be one of those guys. Now, this is where here's my thing, and this is my personal opinion. I want you guys to disagree in the comment section below if you do. If I was an NFL GM, I wouldn't have had Devontae Smith on my board unless he fell into the 20s. Personally, I have 3 receivers over him, which was Waddle. I had Chase, obviously, as my number 1, and I had Rashad Bateman over him. After that, I would take him over Tony, even though I'm a Giants fan. I'll talk about Tony later, but I take him over Tony, Rondale Moore. I take him over a lot of those guys. But the reason being is that it's hard to explain, but you have to limit yourself with him out of fear of him being injured. And I know he's very confident in himself and his abilities and saying, look, I'm not going to get hurt. I'm tough. It's never been a problem before. It's not going to be one now. But I'm not going to trust Devontae Smith to run a slant route across the middle when even in the division, you got Micah Parsons, Jalen Smith, Blake Martinez, who's on Washington that they drafted. I can't think of. Jamin Davis, is that his name? I think it's his name from Kentucky. We'll see in a second. But I just don't see a way that you can run a slant route or you can't run him in the middle of the field, in my opinion, because he gets smacked on a slant route. I don't know if he's getting up. I really don't, and that's a sad reality. Now, is he talented? He's uber talented. Is he the number 1 receiver on the Eagles? Easily, without a doubt, he's the number 1 receiver. He's going to be that wide receiver, which is going to be great for him. I think he's going to do great on the Eagles with Hurts, and I think Rager's going to benefit off of it. I don't think it's a bad situation for him to be in with Philly. I was glad that he wasn't taken with the Giants pick at pick 11 because, I'm glad we traded down too, but because of that fear, I didn't want him to have to adjust and kind of like be Kenny Golladay, but when we have Kenny Golladay. So for me, I like Devontae Smith a lot, and I really do hope he does well in the NFL. But for me as a person, I just don't know if he'd be able to translate well because of those things. And you could try and up his weight, but some things are kind of genetic, man. Like you can always try and build people up, but I just don't see a way he's going to ever get over 200. I really don't. And we'll see how his NFL career pans out. It's obviously an early draft thing, but I really like what the Eagles did in this draft. I really did. Devontae Smith was the best receiver available. They traded up 2 picks to get him, and it was worth it because they needed a receiver. They needed a solid number 1 receiver because Alshon is not. I don't even know if Alshon's still there. I'm pretty sure he's not there anymore. Deshaun's obviously gone. So it's really Rager and Arcega-Whiteside, and you can't really have those as your number 2, your number 1 and 2 receivers. Landon Dickerson, I really liked out of Alabama. Getting him at 37 was a steal. I thought he was a first-round grade. Even though you have Kelsey, I think you can help out in other ways because that line was so hurt last year. It really hurt the team and ended up putting Hurts in. So I think that's a good spot to do. Milton Williams out of Louisiana Tech, I think is a good pick too at the D tackle position because they've really been cycling in and out D tackles alongside with Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. So getting someone there is good. McPherson out of Texas Tech is a decent pick. Any help you can get at the corners is good. I was hoping that they would get one earlier. I think it would have been better to get the best available corner in round 3 and then in round 4 get a D tackle. But I digress. It's still not a horrible pick. Kenneth Gainwell in the 5th was an absolute steal. There's no way to go around it. Absolute steal. He's one of the best pass catching backs in the draft, if not the best pass catching back in the draft. Out of Memphis, that's where Gibson came last year, and Gibson's basically a receiver playing at running back. He is a receiver playing at running back, and he's amazing at it. So if you can get even a scratch of that from Gainwell, it would be great, because Sanders really didn't do too well last year from the pass catching. He was also dealing with injuries. But the thing is that there's a lot of good running backs in Philly, and so adding another one is cool, but you wonder what it does to the workload. And then later in the draft, I like Jacoby Stevens in the late 6th out of LSU. I think he can develop into somebody that could be a starter in a year or two. And Marlon out of USC. I'm not going to say his last name. I'm going to try, even though I really want to. I think he's going to be a solid piece as well. If Milton Williams doesn't pan out, or if they both pan out, that'd be great for you Eagles. But I really do like the Eagles draft. I don't know if I want to do grades or anything like that, because they just had a good draft. I don't know what exactly to label it, but it was a very solid draft. They nailed everything they needed. They needed some help on the offensive line to get some depth. They needed a number one receiver. They got that. They needed just help all around talent-wise on the offensive side. Because of that, getting a pass catcher in Gainwell, you probably could even translate Gainwell to a slot receiver if you need to. But I digress. I think the Eagles were a very solid draft there. A very solid draft. So then we're going to go over to the Giants, and we only had 6 picks, but amazing job by Gettleman trading down twice, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if he traded down anymore. But the only thing that sucks, there's no offensive lineman. I kind of wish we got an offensive lineman for some depth reasons, maybe a guard or something like that. But Kadarius Toney at 20, I wasn't a fan of the pick when it happened, and then as the night progressed, and then as I woke up in the morning and kind of looked over some more Toney tape, I like the pick. Kenny Golladay isn't always healthy. Shepard's not always healthy. Slayton misses in and out of games sometimes, but he's mostly there. But getting a guy like Toney to be that wide receiver 4 and have John Ross behind him, Dante Pettis is still on the roster. This is a very good offensive weaponry for Daniel Jones, and I think that's a huge thing for what we're doing here. The offense was like one of the worst last year, and obviously that has a lot to do with Saquon being out. Shepard was out for a while. Tate was dealing with stuff. It was just a mess. So I think the biggest thing for me is, as I'm not that big of a fan of getting Toney, I wanted Rousseau here at 20. I thought that was a perfect pick for us, but we kind of fixed that later. I think it's a solid pick. He does look like he can be a star in this league. He really does have that star aspect. He also looks like he could be a bust in this league. He's very much a boomer bust guy. I think it's kind of one or the other. I don't think he's just going to be solid, But in reality, we're drafting Toney to where in 2 years, when Shepard's contract is up, we don't have to extend him. He'll be in his 30s, and we can kind of let him go and thank him for his time here. I think it's good. The only thing is I worry about how much is going to take away from Slayton's development, why we paid John Ross. I know it's a 1-year deal, but to get a better version of him in Toney, it's just kind of weird. And Pettis, I was actually a really big fan of us signing Pettis. I thought it was a very good signing for us to do. And, he had a touchdown last year and everything. He was really good on the Niners, and then the year after, it was just a mess. But he's still young in this league. I thought he would be able to progress. So I didn't think receiver was a huge need comparatively. I would have rather gotten a receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round and played him as a wide receiver 4. So getting a first-round receiver and putting him at wide receiver 4 is going to be kind of weird. But we'll see how it goes. I like having as many options and weapons as we can out there. It's going to be a lot better than seeing Russell Shepard out there and those guys, as much as I do appreciate the time they had Cody Latimer and stuff. Azeez Ojulari at 50 is an absolute steal. It's probably the biggest steal of the draft, and I don't know if there's anyone that really disagrees with that. Ojulari was my top edge rusher, I think, other than Rousseau. I really liked Rousseau a lot, but I said, if people are sleeping on Rousseau, it's okay. Out of the guys that we have at the front for most of the draft community, I take Ojulari. I really do. And Ojulari fell to 50 to the Giants, and I really liked it. He's an edge rusher that I think is going to just translate well to the next level. We have Lorenzo Carter coming back off of his injury on the edge as well. O'Shane Ximines, I think, is going to be a very good edge rusher in this league. I thought that when we drafted him. So seeing him being back fully healthy too and just playing his heart out will be great to see. I think it's just a solid thing. I wanted Koromoa. I didn't know about the heart condition stuff that he has, which is unfortunate. I hope everything gets settled perfectly for him. They cleared him, but I just want to make sure I put that out there. I really do hope he gets better, because I wanted Koromoa in the 2nd round. I wasn't sure why he was falling so far. But Ojulari being there at 50 was a steal, and that's an amazing pick for us, getting more edge help, because Leonard Williams had a great season last year. And a lot of that had to do with the play of Dalvin Tomlinson in the interior. So without Dalvin there, even though we replaced him with Danny Shelton, which I think is a great pickup for as cheap as it is, because we got him for the minimum, I don't know if Leonard Williams is going to produce like he did last season because now he has a contract. That's what I'm worried about. I love Leonard Williams, and it seems like he's going to be a beast. I was so happy about the trade when it happened, and I'm so glad he panned out the way he did. He's arguably one of the better defensive ends in the league right now, off of last season. So I big decks in the middle. You got Leonard Williams, you have Ojulari, Carter, Zimenez on the outside. I think that's good on the defense. That was already a top 5 defense in the league last year. So I really do like Ojulari there. Then later in the round, we got Ellerson Smith, who's going to help on the edge as well. Aaron Robinson in the third is another good corner. I think he'll probably be corner number 4. Yeah, because it's always going to be Bradbury and Adoree. And then you got Darnay Holmes that's going to be there. Plus, you got Aaron Robinson there to help out, which is going to be good depth. We still have Logan Ryan, McKinney, and Peppers, so the defense is looking nice. And then we got another corner in the end of the 6th. I was hoping it would be another offensive lineman, but Rodarius Williams being there in the late 6th is awesome. But Gary Brightwell out of Arizona, not very familiar with him, even though I go to Arizona State. Obviously, I'm not unfamiliar with him, but just watching him, I kind of like what he can bring as that 3rd, 4th running back, see if he makes the roster. But other than that, Giants, I really do think we had a great draft. I was very much sleeping on Tony, and I know that now at least. So here we go, Washington football team. Jamin Davis is the name. It's weird. Washington is such a weird team because they made the playoffs last year in a very broken division with, Saquon missing, Dak was missing, Wentz was emotionally missing, but it was a very big injury-based division, and ironically, they were the healthiest team, and that's what got them there. Because Kyle Allen getting hurt is what brought Alex Smith back, which was you guys know how the story goes. But with Washington, I think the draft was all right. It's really all it is. It's nothing sexy. It's just all right. They got Jamin Davis, who I think is a very solid linebacker. I was wondering why they didn't take Cormo until we learned about the heart stuff. But Jamin Davis is somebody that's going to be good. We know that they brought in Reuben Foster and stuff, hoping he would revive his career. And it's just not what it is. But the thing is, this defense isn't the problem, man. This defense is awesome, man. Washington is a really good defense. There's still some weak spots. It's really that front 4. That front 4 is so disgusting. They are so just nasty and mean that the whole defense behind them is going to play well. So I think that using Cole Holcomb would have been fine compared to Davis, but they like Davis the most. Take Davis. I'm not going to be mad about it. But I think corners would have been a better move, in my opinion, getting a corner there at 19. But I know that corners were weird. Corners were very weird. But Sam Cosmi in the 2nd, I think it's a great pick. It's never been the same since Trent Williams has been gone. So getting Cosmi there, who I think is going to be a starting tackle right away, is very good. Getting any help on this offensive line for your future quarterback in either Heineke or maybe Kyle Allen comes back and becomes the starter the whole time, or you look forward to a draft next year. Maybe you trade for a Cam at the deadline or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do. Good quarterback coming out next year. Spencer Rattler, Keaton Slovis, Jaden McDaniels. Off the top of my head, I can't think of all of them, but there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out next year. It's not going to be the same class as this year, but there's no Trevor Lawrence, at least not right now, but it's going to be a good class. Then you have Benjamin St-Juste in the 2nd round or 3rd round, which is a corner, which is solid. It's not really going to do too much. He'll be a depth guy, but he'll help out. Diami Brown is just a dope name. I think that's how I'm saying it right. Diami Brown, I love that name. In the late 3rd, so getting more depth. I really like what Cam Sims brought to you guys, Washington football team. I really like what he brought last year, being that just big, bulky receiver that's just going to run a streak and just jump over somebody. I love that. McLaurin's beasting, obviously. And then you guys signed Curtis Samuel, which is a great signing in the offseason too. So for a guy like Fitzpatrick who's going to air the ball out, and he's going to turn over the ball, we all know that, but he's going to also get some crazy plays. I think that's a good, solid lineup, and to get a guy in Miami to come in here and just hop in and just kind of do what he can as a 3rd rounder and kind of work his way up the depth chart, I think it's going to be good. Getting a tight end out of Boise State, John Bates, which is what it is. It's a 4th round tight end. See what he can do. Derek Forrest, a safety out of Cincy. I like the pick a lot. Cheeseman out of Michigan, who's a long snapper, so you gotta love getting a long snapper. And then in the 7th, you had 3 picks. Shaka Tony out of Penn State, I really do like actually. So he should be a good depth piece. Will Bradley King, and then Dax Milne, I think is how you say it. Decent. It's not the sexiest draft, like I said, but they're all really good players, and it's even said like they have really good athletes, especially from this. Jamin Davis's pro day was insane. So it's something you want to do. It's something you want to just get the best football players you can. I think that's what it is. Now, last but not least, obviously this thing is going to go like 30 minutes. Dallas. Now, obviously, we have our differences, right? I'm a Giants fan. You're a Dallas fan if you're watching this part at least. And I think we can both be respectful. My best friend in the entire world, shout out Josh, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and it sucks because I have to deal with him, but he's my best friend, and we are able to have actual good discussions, which is crazy. A lot of times when you hear about Dallas fans, they get a bad rep, and deservingly so. There's a lot of Dallas fans that are scumbags, but there are it's those few scumbags that are going to be the ones that ruin the fan base, and that's why they're so hated all the time, which like I said, it's rightful for how bad it is, but at the same time, there's so many Dallas fans that I know. Shout out Brian, too. I didn't shout out Brian. Two of my friends are Dallas Cowboys fans, and we have actually good conversations. We have debates, Michael Gallup versus Sterling Shepard, who's the better receiver, stuff like that. But we're able to look at each other's teams, appreciate each other's teams, and know exactly what our other teams are. Say, oh, your team is better, my team is better. We've been able to do this for years, And there's obviously debates, Zeke versus Saquon, and all that kind of stuff. But overall, we have a lot of respect for each other's teams, and we like to compare stuff off of each other. Hey, we took this guy. Like how is this gonna fit against you guys? Like, I feel like he's gonna do this against you guys. Like, it's able to do stuff like that. I love it. So, objectively speaking, and I mean this wholeheartedly, it was great that the Cowboys got a lot of defensive picks. There's a lot of guys I like on their roster, but not taking a corner in the first round is going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them. When you look at the receiving cores, just in the division, not even looking at who they're playing in the schedule, I don't even know who they're playing in the schedule, just in the division, they have to go up against Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Cam Sims. Cam Sims is obviously whatever, but at least to the general public. But that's still a very solid receiving core with Fitzpatrick throwing the ball, and he's going to be airing it out in an air raid offense that he's going to create because he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. You look at the Giants. Daniel Jones is one of the most beautiful deep balls. Now, will he fumble the ball a lot? Probably. But he's got Kenny Golladay, he's got Shepard, he's got Slayton. Now he has Kadarius Toney, and then you got added John Ross for taking the top off, right? Then you go over to the Eagles. Eagles don't have as many options, but they drafted Gainwell, who's a pass-catching back. You have Sanders, that's a pass-catching back. You have the Heisman winner in Devontae Smith, who, like I said, has all the talent in the world. It just matters, can he translate and not get hurt? And at the end of it, you also still have Jalen Reagor, who was a first-round pick, Arcega-Whiteside, all that kind of stuff. So you look at just the division and see how awesome the receivers are. Even Dallas's receivers, man. CeeDee Lamb, freaking Michael Gallup. Oh my God, why am I thinking Mari Cooper? I don't know why I just blanked for 2 seconds there. The receiving cores in the NFC East are absolutely nuts, man. And the fact that you take a linebacker, which this is my point. Micah Parsons is a monster. Now, he's also a predator. You can look that up yourself if you want to see what he did in college, which makes it kind of a Cowboys pick to pick a guy that's kind of troubled. But as a Giants fan, as an objective Giants fan, I've been scared of your linebackers. I have. Van Der Esch, Sean Lee, Jalen Smith, obviously Lee retired, but those are terrifying. Seeing Jalen Smith in his stance, 4 yards from the line of scrimmage, knowing goddamn well it's going to be a Saquon halfback dive, I'm scared. They're beasts. You guys have incredibly fast, athletic, strong linebackers who are going to cover the field and do well. Linebacker was not a weak spot, and that's such a Jerry thing to do. Is to take something that's not a weak spot, and just because it's the coolest pick, it's the biggest best player available. Which best player available is great a lot of times, but when you have such a glaring need in corner, because here's the thing: 2 years ago your corners were good. Right, you had Byron Jones, you had Chidobe Awuzie, you had Anthony Brown, you had Xavier Woods. You have all these guys that were good. They were good. They were solid. And they were developing, and we've seen what they've developed to. Now you see, Woods is in Minnesota, I believe. Right, Awuzie is on the Bengals, I think. Byron got paid by the Dolphins, and who am I missing? Anthony Brown. I don't know where the hell Anthony Brown is, but he might actually still be on the roster. But anyway. I digress. You had a lot of good corners, and why are none of them on the roster? Why are none of them on the roster? Well, let's look at it. You signed Amari Cooper, right? You re-signed DeMarcus Lawrence. You paid the hell out of Zeke. You knew you had to pay the hell out of Dak. You still have Tyron Smith under contract, who's a huge contract. You have Zach Martin under contract, who's got a huge contract. And you see these positions that really can help just suddenly just digress, especially on that defensive end, because you're paying all those stars on the offensive side. DeMarcus Lawrence is really the only guy that got paid. Jalen Smith got a new paycheck, but it wasn't so big. It was kind of a team-friendly deal. But you look at the rest of it, Van Der Esch's option didn't get picked up. Why? Probably can't re-sign him, which is why the Parsons pick is decent now, because you're going to have to let go of Van Der Esch. Why? Because all that money's already gone. It's a hard thing to do. You couldn't keep Robert Quinn because someone else is going to pay him more, and the Bears paid him a lot more than he was deserved, but they paid him a lot. The thing is, though, Trevon Diggs last year was put on an island last year, right? Even with Awuzie there. Awuzie was in and out, Woods was in and out, whatever it is. Trevon Diggs was on an island, and he had some games where he looked like, man, this guy's going to be a number one corner. And he had some games where, man, this guy is going to get cut. Like, it was a very hit or miss thing for Trevon Diggs. So going into this draft, you miss out on Surtain and Horn, and there's really nothing you could have done about that. You could have traded up. You probably should have traded up, in my opinion, just to be safe, because I said to my friend Josh, I said, Panthers are going to take a corner, man. That's their biggest need in my eyes. Their defense is so nice. Dante Jackson's nice, but they need help. I was like, they're probably going to take Horn or Surtain. I was like, the Broncos, I think they're going to go quarterback unless they believe in Locke. But once they traded Teddy, I said, there's not going to be a corner going to you. And I was confident in that. So the fact that even though you were at 10, you traded down to 12. Here's my thing. Giants did this a couple years ago. They were at pick 6. Was Daniel Jones a top 10 talent in that draft? No. Could they have traded down to 13 and probably gotten him? Maybe. We don't know, but most likely, we'll say, most likely. But when you need something so bad, you don't wait. You do it. You do it. That's just what you do. So even though Greg Newsome went 8 picks later, I'm pretty sure, 8 picks later, taking him at 12 would have been a better selection than this Micah Parsons pick, because Greg Newsome would come in there and be either number 1 corner or be a number 2 corner to Trevon Diggs, and you'd be looking a lot better in Dallas. But now you're having Trevon Diggs and God only knows who else guard Kenny Golladay and Sterling Shepard, but who's guarding Slayton? Who's guarding Tony? Same thing. Oh, you got Trevon Diggs on McLaurin, but who's guarding Curtis Samuel? Who's gonna guard Sims? Right? The Eagles. You got Devontae Smith covered, but who's getting Rager? It's gonna translate every single time to every game to where they're gonna be a team where you're gonna be winning games because your team is awesome. The offense is absolutely magnificent. As long as everyone's healthy, it's gonna be awesome to see this offense fly again with Dak at the quarterback. But you're gonna be winning games 43-40 because you're gonna be giving up a lot of points because people are gonna be airing the ball out on you. Because even on top of that, you couldn't hold your safeties even because you had to get rid of them for the cap space. And that's why Woods is in Minnesota now. So when it comes to their draft, right, and I'm going to go through all their players because they took one of my favorite players in this draft. They really did. The Parsons pick is going to set them back a lot. It's going to set them back. And we'll see what happens to it. But it's going to set them back. He's going to be solid. He's going to replace Van Der Esch. But you shouldn't be drafting to replace a star linebacker with injury problems. You should be looking to make the team the best it can be because this team has a Super Bowl window right now. And especially in this division, as this division is getting better, and it seems like Washington and New York are about to overtake that division from what it's been, which has been Philly and Dallas for so long. I think this is a year that you get what you need, and I think Newsome would help a lot. You get Kelvin Joseph in the second round out of Kentucky, which decent. I just don't think he's going to be that great, which obviously with Trevon Diggs, the number 2 is going to be Kelvin Joseph, but I just don't think it's going to be as good. I would have much rather you taken, because at 44, if you would have taken Greg Newsome and then gotten Koromoa, even with his condition, I think that would have been a much better draft. I think it would have looked a lot better too. But then you go in the third round. They got a D lineman out of UCLA, Osa. He's going to be solid. Golston, a D end, is going to be good. Nashawn Wright, which is another corner out of Oregon State. Not too familiar, but again, when you're getting towards those later things, they're kind of fillers, which I think the thought process behind Jerry Jones and everything, and I'm pretty sure if you guys haven't already commented it below, Cowboys fans, I think the thinking is Awuzie and Brown and all these guys, they weren't first round picks, So let's just make another Awuzie. Let's just make another Brown. And it doesn't always pan out. It's a big risk. It's a big risk that I don't think you had to take. I think it would have been much better to take the corner right away. But again, that's just my opinion. Jabril Cox, linebacker at LSU in the 4th round, steal. Absolute steal. Love the pick. Josh Ball, offensive tackle out of Marshall, like the pick a lot. Fehoko out of Stanford, I think, was a solid pick. You got Bohanna out of Kentucky, the defense tackle. One of my favorite players in this draft, Israel Mokuamu, out of South Carolina. I like him a lot. So if he can translate into being a star corner, which I always hoped he could, but he kind of fell out this year, that'd be great. He's like 6'4", so that'd be great. And then you got a guard in the end from Nebraska, Farniok, I think. But you guys know the Cowboys were giving up a lot of points last year. A lot of that had to do with the Andy Dalton experiment and stuff like that. But I don't think the draft's bad at all. I think this whole division had such a good draft together that no one necessarily got an edge over anyone else. I think everyone just got that much better. It made this division that much more fun because when healthy, this division is going to be so much fun to watch every single game. I'll watch an Eagles-Washington game. I'll watch a Giants-Cowboys game every single day of the week. So it's like I like a lot what this division did. So at the end of the day, this is a good division, and there's a lot to look forward to. There's nothing really bad about it. Long story short, everyone had a good draft. I liked it a lot. I love the draft, obviously, so I'd like to be unbiased with this all. So if I had to pick who has the best draft, I think I'd have to give it to I don't know, man. I want to give it to the Eagles, I think. Devontae pick, even though I don't know if he'll translate, I love his talent, so that's why I like that. But besides that, even if Devontae becomes a bust, genuinely, Dickerson's a great pick. Gainwell in the 5th is a steal. Marlin in the 6th is a great pick. Jacoby Stevens in the 6th is a great pick. I like a lot what they had. So I think that they might have had the best draft, but it's a very much a 1A, B, C, and D here because I think the Giants getting Ojulari in the 2nd is amazing value that makes their draft alone, And then Aaron Robinson in the 4th is another steal. Same with Washington. Cosme in the 2nd was great. Shaka Toney in the 7th, I think, can develop into be something nice. And then, like I said, Jabril Cox is one of the steals for the Cowboys. Mukuamu was a steal for me, in my opinion. So, again, I think the Eagles are the best draft, but I think that everyone else is kind of right there with them. So, if you guys do like this, I know it's kind of weird. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I feel more comfortable doing this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, I look comfortable, but like, I feel like I'm actually talking to you, whoever you are listening to this. I think it's just a lot more fun for me, and I hope it's good for you too. I feel like this is something you could just put on with some snacks, maybe play some Madden or 2K or Call of Duty or whatever you want to play, and just kind of listen to it because I do that a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm just playing MLB or something like that. So, let me know what you think about this whole setup. I think it's kind of nice, but I'm going to put down below the timestamps for everything down below so I could put, when I talk about the Eagles, when I talk about the Giants, when I talk about the Cowboys, when I talk about Washington, and then I'll also put in there when the video starts. But long story short, thank you guys for listening or watching. If you went through all of this, let me know in the comment section below. What do we want to put for the thing? Right, Shaka from Shaka Toney. SHAKA. Just put Shaka in all caps if you watch this whole thing. Just let me know that you guys are watching because I really do appreciate you guys that do that. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Again, if you guys did enjoy this video and this podcast, whatever the hell we're going to do with this thing or call it, let me know in the comment section below. If you didn't, just refresh the page and watch it again. Let me know what you think the second time. Leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, turn those notifications on because I feel like some of my videos don't ever hit the sub boxes. We got 800 people here, and somehow a video will get like 5 views, and it don't make sense. But other ones will get like 900. So YouTube's a weird algorithm. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I will catch you in the next edition of this, whatever the hell we're gonna call it. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.